You see, Heather had never seen me full throttle working before. Turns out she liked to watch. And I liked that she liked to watch. Oh.
Ben, can I get you to come inside and help me move something heavy?
How heavy?
Pretty heavy.
There you go.
When you first read the episode, no pressure.
Yeah.
I don't know who wrote it, but anyway. You read about Stevie's difficulties,
Yeah.
having his and what that meant for the two of you and your relationship. Was that tricky territory? Did you think at any time that maybe this was them coming a gutser?
I absolutely think that Heather at all times thinks it's done.
Correct.
Honestly, without, I think anything could tip her boat.
Yeah.
There's no right answer, but that is the right answer.
Absolutely. You stuff up too many times, she's out of there.
Yeah.
She's had enough trauma in her life not
Amen.
to have added trauma with you. So you're very lucky
I agree,
with the
Steve.
end result with that one.
It's just because Ben's such a capable
No, it's because
fella.
No, come on,
Then
he
bring you
is.
back.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, but you're a bit of a baby.
Such a good earner.
You're a bit of a baby. I think Heather was starting to feel like, okay, here's my third child.
Yeah.
And I think that was
Fourth
the problem.
child. Don't leave Colin out.
Of course, dear God, very large child.
Yeah.
That one, almost forgotten about him. But seriously, I do think that's what was happening to Heather at that stage.
Yeah.
I think you were really testing her in that episode.
Yeah.
And it could have gone either way.
Absolutely.
Could have gone either way easily. Yeah.
That's right. But I think in all things in Ben's life, he's always the she'll be right type of...
He is.
So he thinks, oh, I'll be right.
Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah.
He's right most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be right. She'll come around.
Absolutely.
She'll end up enjoying looking after him and
Nursing him.
reminding him to do his
to
exercises.
health.
And
Yeah, she's a carer full time, and that's really what she wants to be doing.
Yeah, he's looked at it and thought, well, she enjoys her work. Let her bring it home.
Let's bring an accident
He's just
home.
doing her a favour,
Yeah.
really, because
Yeah.
he's a giver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that Ben hit the skids as hard as he did? And by the sounds of it, you weren't surprised by your reaction to it, were you?
I was surprised because it wasn't a side of him that I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
I thought it was an overreaction to it. Rather than dealing with the problem, he medicated the problem, and I thought that was a cop-out. And I think that's what really ultimately pissed her off, is that that's the best you can do, that's how you're going to deal with it.
Yeah.
Basically implode.
Yep.
And I think that really annoyed Heather.
Yeah, fair enough too. Didn't
Yeah.
take much, did it? One
No,
broken
she's
shoulder
like-
and he's hopeless.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's fair. That was an important shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah, and it meant your future, your career, your job. I mean, we knew the impact of it, and I think that was what was frustrating. It created then a huge struggle for both of them.
Yep.
You know, financially as well.
Yep.
You know, him out of action. How do we do this? How do we survive? A lot of things. I think a lot of things came up in that ep. Christine, quick question.
Yes, mate.
You know, when you were writing episode 3.
Yes.
Had you planned that we need him to literally fall from grace and then redeem him?
We did. But when you say it like that,
Yeah.
I'm thinking now, did we really need the ladder? Could we have gone for something less literal than the fall from grace?
Yeah, it was a really big...
Yeah, no, it was fine. We had other stuff going on
Setup.
around it. It was fine. But it was, yes, definitely, because...
But why did you want the audience to see that? Why did you know, seriously, what was the motivation behind?
Because it felt truthful. It
Right.
felt truthful that Benny, with his history, that when we
Yeah.
first meet him in season 1, he's
Yeah.
living in a caravan. He
Yeah.
doesn't mention casually that he's done a bit of jail time.
Yeah,
You know, he's got
yeah.
a daughter, ex-wife.
Yeah.
Like he's living a pretty kind of pared back and I wouldn't
Yeah.
say optimal life. He's probably not
No,
being his
he
best
doesn't
self.
mind it. I mean, Ben, he'd be comfortable living in a refrigerator box
It's
under
true.
a bridge, but
Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
To anyone
It'd have to
looking
be
at
a
him.
big box though, that might be a big fridge.
it's a big rig, mate.
It's a big rig, yeah. But it was important, I think, that it had to be a trigger.
Yeah.
It was not so, he wasn't on a natural trajectory to
Yeah.
slip back into his old habits.
Yeah.
But once that trigger came in and he was back into the mode of drinking, you know, as
Yeah.
a kind of port of call, wake up in the day and, oh, well, I might have a stubby for
Yeah,
breakfast.
yeah, yeah.
It's not a healthy diet
Yeah.
and it does bring you a gutser, but it was about those central issues of where they both were in their lives.
Yeah.
Heath being just a smidgen older than Benny.
Yes, yeah.
But Benny hasn't had that life experience, or that he's had it and swerved on it, gone to jail.
Yeah, absolutely,
instead of
yeah.
having it.
He reminds me every time. I think he's like a character. He's like one of those characters Paul Kelly sings about in a few of his songs.
Oh, like the guy in jail making gravy.
Yeah,
it's one of my favourite
but-
songs.
Yeah, no. If ever I think of him, that's kind of because they're likable characters, and you can imagine this like, I've stuffed up again, but I'll make it better.
Yeah,
He's that kind of bloke.
He is that kind of bloke.
Yeah.
And he does.
Yeah.
No spoilers, but to
Yeah.
his credit.
Yeah, well, he always, he's always aiming to do the right thing. He just, but
That's
yeah.
the magic of Benny, that he really does want to do the right thing.
He does. That's such a beautiful scene. But
Yeah.
that to me, it pretty much encased who he is
Totally.
and what he wanted and how badly he'd stuffed up and how it was affecting. It was such a beautiful
and
piece
how
of writing.
gutsy he was.
Absolutely.
To
Yeah.
fall on his sword
And it's such a
and
vulnerable
admit it
moment.
all.
Yeah, yeah.
In a way that was not, didn't come dressed up in
Yeah.
excuses, or
Yeah.
it was just.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good fun doing those scenes again. That was another one. I was saying, we're talking about episode 1, how there are some scenes
Oh, right.
that
yeah.
you stress about because they're so well written, and you think, if someone's given me an opportunity to really hit this for 6,
Step
and
it
then
up.
that should be the easiest one to do because it's all there. But
Well,
then you put
yeah.
so much pressure on
Yeah, I
yourself
know,
to
yeah.
make the most of it. That
I think we all do. I think we all do because we want we're so invested in the show.
Yeah.
And the writing's so good that
Yeah.
we can't let it down.
Who wrote this episode? It must have been Michael, was
I
it?
don't know. It was probably Mike.
Yeah, probably Mike.
Would have been Mike.
Yeah, would have been Mike.
If it was a good bit, it would have been
Sounded
Mike.
like him.
Yeah. No, if it made sense, it was a Mike.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.